Okay, I'm actually out working on my son's Silverado 1990, and this is one of the places that was dented in, from right here to here, and then up here it's dented in a little bit too. So what we've got to do is push this out. Now the seam for the door is actually right up here. This piece right here. So that's actually going to have to be pounded up once we get this part pounded out. Not much, just a couple of dents. But this, I'm thinking, may pop itself out as we're doing this. So I'm saving it for last. Then we got to take, doggone wind. Then we got to take this whole door panel off. This little black piece here. We just tested it, and it does actually work. The windows roll down, the doors lock and unlock, no problem. So all we got to do is take these bolts out of this black metal pan here, and the whole thing will come off. Then we can take the glass out and put it in the other door. Take the door pins out once we get everything else done, and pop the other door on here, hook the connectors back up in the little grommet here. It's got plug connectors just like the one I showed on video at pull apart. Take them apart right there, pop those pins out, take the door away, put the new one up to it, connect everything up, and try lining it all up again. And then he should be in good shape. Then all he'll have to have is a straight rim. This one is anything but straight. In fact, you can ride down the road in it, and even though we've replaced the upper control arm and it's got a good ball joint in it, you ride down the road and it's doing one of these numbers. But how I'm planning on getting in to push the dents out on this thing is right through there. Because just to give you an idea, there was a rubber grommet in that hole, so it wasn't left open or anything. Of course, down here vehicles don't rust, so I mean they do, but not near like they do up north. So anyway, the dent is right about here, so I'm probably going to be able to reach it just fine through this hole. I mean, I can put my finger in there and feel the back side of the dent, which putting my hand in there now, the center of the grommet is right here where this mark is. And no, I didn't put that there, it was already there, just coincidence. But as you can tell from that mark to where the dent starts, it's only about 2.5 inches, and it's a big hole, so I'm thinking I'll be able to get my pry bar in there pretty easy to get that popped out. Unfortunately, it's not a very good place for me to get the porta power in, so won't be doing any porta power videos this time. And you can see there where we tried to straighten the bottom of the door before, and it just wasn't worth doing. It was too banged and bungled up. So we're just going to replace it. That is the new Fender, and you can see how much it lacks being able to slide into place properly. There's the bolt hole, there's the other bolt hole. They're supposed to line up, but that's as close as you can get it without flexing the fender, and I don't want to do that. As with everything else, I want to line everything up right and make sure it's right before I let him out on the road with it. But that's all for now. Now granted, I've had to warp the hole on the inside a little bit to get the pry bar in there, but just in 2 pushes, there's the marks. There's where the dent ended. Or no, there was the center of the big hole, and right there's where the dent ended. 2 pushes, I've got the dent almost pushed out up to here already. Sorry about the wind. And quite a bit closer now. Got a relief, I'm gonna have to cut a relief hole in there and slowly push that out, and then tackle the hardest part, which is right here. I got as far as that, even rolled the edge back up under a little bit, but it's still got to be straightened out here, and I still need to push that out, but you got to do it slow. You can't just rip and tear into there and expect everything to line up like it's supposed to. Now, plus sometimes, as you see, you've got to push it back because you go too far with it. And what I really wanted to show you is how close the holes are to actually just lining up without being forced on. That's where the hole connects in the bottom of the fender. Now, from the top side, I can force it to line up because it's not that far. For that matter, I could take the skinnier pry bar that I've got, if I could find the thing, and line that all up. As you can see, I can force it, but that's not good because it's under strain that way. I want to straighten everything up, including this, to where it's not under strain, it's riding like it normally does, and it'll stay put and it won't be backing the bolts out. And then that one should be pretty well straight, and then we can move on to the rest of the pillar for the door. Now the relief cut I'm talking about cutting is probably going to be right there. Put like there's a dimple there anyway, so I can put like a drill hole in right there and be able to get to everything in there. And then when I'm done, just either weld it back up or fill it full of waterproof filler. And it shouldn't be too awful long now. We'll be gutting the stuff out of the inside of this door. Now, especially now that we know it all works right like it's supposed to, locking and unlocking the doors. It's slow, but this thing's been sitting for several years too, so they probably just need greased up, but it actually does the job, locking and unlocking them. And the power windows go up and down like they're supposed to, so no big deal. When the time comes, we'll just be pulling all the bolts that are still in it out of that, blocking it up so the window doesn't come crashing down in the window frame, and just swapping everything over. Now if I can get that rolled the rest of the way out tonight, well, I'll go ahead and do the swapping of the internals. Yep. Still not quite there, but it's a whole lot closer now than it was. I've already made my mark. I'm going to sink me a screw in right there, get the old slide hammer and pull it out, and I may have to go right down in here since that's a little dip in there still to get it straightened out the rest of the way. But I got it close using the holes, and I have managed to get the plugs out for the door. Now these are impossible to take apart, well, usually impossible to take apart one-handed, but let's see if I can do it. There's that one. There's that one. That plug should come right out now. Trying not to scrape my wires against the hole too much. Forgot about a little catch right there that catches that little hook. This one's much the same way. Actually, I think I can get away with just unhooking that one on this, and it should come right out. Yep, like so. Now the door is ready to have the pins both pushed out of it. I got new pins to put back in it. So let's get at this. Now that I got the door off and out of the way, I don't really have a whole lot further to go. If I can get right in there, right there, I should be good. Problem is, my son uses the crap out of this and never puts it back on charge. So that's messed up. Gotta find me a good charged battery like that's gonna happen. They're probably all dead. But, see what I can come up with. Okay. It's late. We still don't have the fender on. But we do have the door on. This was a straight door, and it actually shut good on the truck that it was on. So, it's not the door. Odds are, we've got to pull all that out. That mat from that hinge all the way down. But see, there's nothing that really reveals that it's dented that much. We got a little molding where the body sealer split right there. And I'm assuming that it flexed enough, or that's a sign that it flexed enough that it needs to be pulled back out. Once I get that pulled out, then I got to pull the bottom of the cab out, because that's all that's left. See, there's a place here and a place here where they tried to bend this pin back out thinking that that might help it, and it doesn't. Another thing that's going to be fun is getting this spring back in that little grip right there. That's what keeps your door from just slamming open all the time. I'm going to tackle that in the daylight when I can see what I'm doing a little better. Okay, super windy, so I got to do this quick. We still got to pull the base out, because even with the new door on it, we've still got a gap. I'm doing this in the daytime so you can actually see it a little better. But, and the seam, still, part of it's that the latch is sprung from being hit. But that's quite a bit of a gap. Even if it had all the weather stripping and everything in it, it would still need to be realigned. So next step is to either use my porta power and straighten that out, or put her on an old snatch block and just give her a couple good yanks to see if that straightens it out. That's about all for this one so far. We're still at it. There's the old door all gutted, getting ready to go to the foundry. There's a new fender. Just got to put it up in place once we get that all lined up, and we'll be done with this one.